Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Tojo, and today we're making a video around the topic of pre-order dilemmas, stock problems in the Pokemon TCG market, and also the release of Shining Fates and what that might mean for 2021. Let's get into this video. So everyone, Shining Fates has been announced. Yay! What a great name. So good. So creative. So fresh from Shiny Star V and the release of Vivid Voltage here over in the English release, hype is super high in the market at the moment. We've had some awesome, and for good reason obviously, the releases have been awesome, the sets have been great. I've had a really good time opening these sets up. It's been the strongest kind of card releases that I've seen in quite a long time. Sword and Shield has been okay so far, but I really feel like we're in a good place at the moment and they're doing a great job with these sets. So with the announcement of a new set, there is also pre-orders that have just been announced online. Lots of stores putting up stock and also announcing all of the product lines and stuff that we've seen. And there's some really good stuff available. Some great tins, some cool premium collections, lots of stuff that's kind of all out in the open and ready for all of us to see. But there's a lot of people that kind of feel there's a little bit of a storm on the horizon coming for the February release of this set. And it's kind of easy to see why. So what exactly are people worried about? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just that a lot of people are worried about not being able to get their hands actually on these products. Now, why could that be? Well, it's really not that hard. Let's look back at the release of A Champion's Path and its plethora of problems. There was a lot of problem with stock levels in physical stores around, especially over in the US. There was a problem here in the UK as well. You'll kind of find that less though, seeing as we're more dependent here on kind of local independent stores rather than large chains. We don't really have anyone who sells that kind of stuff here. There was a lot of kind of cancelled pre-orders as well for the big players. There were a few problems and rumours around cancelling pre-order stock and then relisting it for higher prices. I can't confirm that. I think it happened. There was a few things that went around on Twitter. If you guys know anything about that stuff, then just drop some sources down in the comment section below. But yeah, with the kind of scalping and the cancelled orders and stock levels being low and demand being super high, obviously the secondary market prices were crazy out of control and people really didn't want to pay, double MSRP for some of the Elite Trainer boxes that were flying around, which is understandable. And then towards the end of that, we also saw, and I have seen, especially with a second wave of, product stock, some of the big retailers here in the UK, I think maybe like Total Cards, I think was one, pricing Elite Trainer boxes for Champion's Path at £80, like above £80, which is, it's a high price, especially seeing as I've been able to pre-order second wave stock and buy other stock from other stores and from physical stores for between the £50 to £60 mark, well within that kind of comfort net of MSRP. So it's not great, and a lot of people feel really burnt out by all this. So now with Shining Fates on the horizon and coming to us in February, a lot of us are kind of poised in the position to ask the question, why is anything going to be different this time round? So I'm going to try and combat this topic kind of objectively and see things from both sides or all sides. But there's obviously going to be sprinklings of my opinion in there too, right? Because I'm here, I collect cards, I buy this stuff, I'm interested in it. And, I just want things maybe to just improve a little bit. So I'll give a little bit of insight into that. So why exactly could things be the same again? Well, the key thing here really is cut allocations of stores. So I'm going to give a shout out to some other kind of channels that are about both who are involved in actually selling products and ordering stuff at the distributor level and then reselling products out as an actual, either brick and mortar or online store. There's going to be Pokerand, which a lot of you will have, Randolph Pokemon. A lot of people in the UK will know who that is, or across the world will know who that is. And another one is called Cardinal, like a cardinal, like the bird. Cardinal Gaming, which is a guy in the States who runs his own brick and mortar local game store, and he talks a lot about, he's very transparent about how running his store works and the stock levels and his concerns on people coming in, buying stuff, pre-ordering, all that stuff. So go and check their opinion pieces out on this stuff, guys. It's really important that you spread your wings and go check out other content creators and get their opinions on this stuff too. So cut allocations of stores. So what's going to happen is you'll go over to those channels and you'll hear what they say, but essentially boiled down for stores and how they run it is they will order stock or request a certain amount of stock for the latest release. So they'll say, I want 1,000 Elite Trainer boxes, etc., to sell in store and on their online stores. A cut allocation basically just means at the distributor level they just can't provide that to the store. So that basically just means I thought we would get 1,000 and now instead we get like 200 or 300. And this isn't something that's exclusive to these bigger stores. The local game store that I go to myself has also seen these issues. They had orders of Champion's Path cut in half, the Hidden Fates reprint, cut in, down to like a tenth or something ridiculous. Elite Trainer boxes is happening too. We've seen other delays in products like the premium Sword and Shield collection that's coming soon too. So that's another thing. So we're constantly seeing these kind of stock changes happen all the time, and it's difficult grounds for them to work with. I do sympathise with them quite strongly. Met with those cut allocations also is ridiculously high demand. Pokemon continues to peak throughout 2020, and it's not just all about the monetary value. We've seen loads of new people. There's a huge influx of interest into the hobby, which is great to see, and that just means there's more hands that are trying to grab this product and go out and buy stuff on the shelves and pre-order stuff online. So more demand, less supply. So that's something, guys, that could genuinely continue to grow throughout and go through to 2021 as well. The other thing to think about as well is, and this is also covered by Cardinal Gaming and another channel, Alpha Investments. Obviously, a lot of people will have heard of Rudy and stuff from. He's more kind of presence. His presence is more in the Magic the Gathering space, but he has delved into Pokemon before. Him and Cardinal Gaming definitely talking from experience and saying that they're seeing, these distributors are telling them they're seeing a lot more, stores open up. So maybe it's people operating from bedrooms, small warehouses, online stores. Maybe they're opening up brick and mortar stores as well. But, with this increased kind of demand at the distributor level as well, we're going to see more cut allocations. That's just how it is. The Pokemon company or whoever, or is it Creatures maybe? Whoever basically manufactures the cards, the more kind of demand at that level means they're not going to be able to distribute them out to, the distributors to then go out to stores as much. That's just how it is. More people in the game wanting to buy, product at wholesale price. There's a high demand, which means that's going to drip through down to the next level. That's how the hierarchical structure works, right? So yeah, it's a difficult one, and I can't really see any of that changing. There's going to be more and more stores operating and more people seeking independence, especially with the situation in the world at the moment. Lots of people are kind of seeking to open up those avenues for themselves as well. So I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon, really. So what's my kind of take on all of this, and how do I think that this is kind of fitting in? Well, so we've just seen Shining Fates get released and pre-orders are live. I'll be totally transparent and tell you guys what I've pre-ordered. It's nothing crazy, I'm not going to go mad for many reasons, but I've pre-ordered 3 tins, so a full set of tins from Total Cards, which is one of the big suppliers here in the UK. And then I also have a pre-order of the maximum that I could, which is 2 ETBs from Chaos Cards as well. So I've got 2 ETBs and a set of tins coming. I was going to pre-order some more stuff from Chaos as well. And then there will also be, if I can, essentially, and then there will also be a little bit of interest, and I'll be talking to my local game store as well, and I'll be heading in there and picking up some products. I always go down and support those guys too. Their stock levels are kind of much higher, and typically I can get my hands on the stuff that I want at a decent price and towards, right on the release date. So it's great, and I love going down and supporting those guys. So I'll definitely be picking up some stuff, and I have made pre-orders myself well ahead of the release time. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. But if you are pre-ordering, you're looking out to pre-order, especially with any stores, anywhere, whatever your kind of method is, never ever, try and stick as close as you can to MSRP, guys. Like, this is like pretty simple, right? The people who are trying to charge ridiculous amounts of money for this stock are either just trying to make a quick buck, or they're a smaller store and that their margins are tighter because it is just tough. But you have to be patient sometimes, and there will be product available at local stores, or if you are just patient and wait for restocks, there is a possibility that you will be able to buy closer to MSRP or bang on or just below. And the thing is with that is that you can't cave into the whole FOMO idea of just I'm never going to get it, I'm not going to see it. Ultimately you will just pay above, and regardless of how it is, you've still lost out. You paid too much money for that product, and that's just the simple take on it. If you are ordering online, just like I said myself, go with the bigger stores if you can. They're more likely to offer fairer prices because they've got they're able to order so much more inventory than smaller stores. Smaller stores as well online, and this isn't me bashing smaller stores at all. Like I said, I'm all for supporting smaller businesses, and I think it's great that lots of people are venturing out and starting those ventures. But smaller stores normally mean smaller allocations of product, which means if they or get under allocated and then they open up too many pre-orders, smaller allocations with large queues just means you're more likely to miss out, guys. That's just simple maths. Like, that's just how it works, right? So yeah, with that in mind, like I said, commit to local game stores, like physical purchases, like I do. My local store separates out its online stock and physical stock. So anything that they order, they'll have a certain amount or ratio that they will have definitely in store for the release, and then they'll also have some that's only ever going to go online. And not every store is going to work like that, but if you can find something like that for local businesses, or try and work something like that out with local suppliers, I can guarantee you that most LGSs on brick and mortar stores will want to sell product in-house rather than through online stores. It just means that a lot of these websites that they run on take cuts and they lose stuff out on fees and things like that. So it's always I think there's a good incentive for them to sell stuff in store, so they'll always prefer that, and it means that you're more likely to get your hands on product and get a better deal. So that's something that I typically do as well after I've pre-ordered online for the store. So I like to spread my resources and go to plenty of different places just to widen the load and try to make sure that I'm not disappointed when it comes to release day. The other thing with large online stores or small online stores is email alerts and stock alerts. Guys, if you're missing out on stuff, or you feel like you're a few hours late to the party, sometimes, there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe you're busy, but you've got to give yourself every chance you can. So email alerts and stock alerts are really important to sign up for. You're going to be in a big long queue regardless of how early you turn up. So setting yourself up for email alerts and getting that information in as early as possible gives you the best possible chance to get to the front of that line too, right? The other thing I like to do is, my take is just don't overcommit to releases. Like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't buy all of the same one product from the same one place. Spread your wings, go to different places. If you go with a big order with one place, if they have, their order, the allocation cut, it's more than likely that your large order will, meet the same fate as well, right? So if you're going to just go with one place, it's going to hit you hard. So try and go to different places, work with more places, pre-order from different online stores, big online stores. Try some smaller stores out, physical stores where you can. That way you're much less likely to get burnt. Now, this is the kind of big thing of how do we avoid this from happening? And this is a really, really hard question to answer, but something that kind of my thoughts on this stuff, and also something that's been reflected from those other channels that I've mentioned as well, is that with more stores popping up, it's getting harder and harder for them to hold off releasing information. Leaks are happening all the time. I remember seeing a leak of a Shining Fates pack and I was like, nah, that's fake. That name is terrible. The logo is literally a rip-off. And here we are. It was real. That was a month, 2 months ago. So it was a while ago. So with more of these places opening up and leaks happening earlier, and we're in the age of information where on the internet everything just comes super instantaneous, and it's oh bang, all that information's there and it's out and it's ready to go straight away. Stores are constantly feel like they're playing this catch-up game, where it's as soon as someone knows that they're going to get product, if they know that they're ready to bang down a couple of thousands of thousands, if not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever these stores, these big stores like Total Cards, Chaos Cards in the UK here are putting down on these orders at the distributor level, they know that they're going to be able to get a certain amount. So for them, they're feeling safe in themselves that they can open pre-orders up early if they have product details and they have MSRP guidelines for prices. So everyone always releases this stuff early, and it's they understandably they're trying to ride the hype train, right? So they're just trying to get on this product ASAP, which is totally understandable. But the thing is with that is that some of these stores, I feel like they're the smaller stores that have less certainty on this stock, get forced into opening pre-orders way too early, and that just means that like they're taking orders and stuff, and especially with less experienced stores, they're taking pre-orders for orders that they just can't fulfill, right? They take way too much, and they're holding people's money, and they're, God knows what they're going to go and do with it, you know, like go and respend it on more stock, keeping up with other releases, and it just becomes a little bit of a mess. So again, returning back to Cardinal Gaming, the point that they made was that they won't be opening up pre-orders until they know that actual physical allocation that they're going to get from the distributor, which to me seems like really fair. You know, at that level, if you know that you're going to get a certain amount of product, that's how much you know you can set aside to pre-order. You know, it's not rocket science, but then from the, you know, from other stores' perspective, I can understand how difficult it is. You know, they feel like they miss out on sales, and if they don't hit that early point when everyone's like really interested and the mad rush is there, you know, the hype can kind of die down maybe quite quickly. We can see that happen. We saw this back a while ago. You know, Generations was a really cool, you know, it was an okay set, but had the Radiant collection in, which was awesome. But you know, Generations was a set where they kind of gradually released the products, like every month there was a new box. But what happened is that I felt as that kind of went on, more and more kind of hype died down. You got less excited for more of the product. People, you know, got all their fixes from the early products, and there were certain things that took precedent, and you know, people prioritized opening up the promos with the Kanto starters, the final evolutions, the really cool EX cards. And like, when you have releases like that and you drip feed, and that can include for pre-orders and stock when a set is set to be released, I can see how some stores would feel like they'll start to miss out on orders, and so it's a tricky situation for them because they've got to try and you know, make the money and make the sales where they can. So it's a tough one. So from a collector's perspective, you know, what do we do if we don't pre-order early? Everyone just feels like they're in a position where they could just miss out entirely. You know, it is totally possible that if you just don't get in the queue, everyone else just gets in, and you know, whether half of them get their product or not, it doesn't matter, because if you weren't in the queue, you're never going to get your product, right? So that's difficult, and you know, like I said, I sympathise with everyone because I'm in that boat too, right? I pre-ordered early and wanted to get on products, so it is difficult. But you know, if you do pre-order early as well, there's a chance that you know, your order can get, you know, cancelled, or there's a chance that, you know, your money is held for a much longer period until that cancellation, or your money is held for a much longer time until the release, because these releases keep getting announced and pre-orders get, you know, released much you know, further away from the actual release date. So it's a really tough one, guys. Like it really isn't an easy situation to be in. I think on a positive note, a lot of the online stores, after the kind of mess, it was a mess, Champions Path, you know, I think they're taking steps in the right direction. We're seeing, you know, order limits, you know, sensible order limits on things. You know, Chaos have gone from, oh, you can only order 50 ETBs down to 2 for the pre-order, which is good. You know, 50 isn't a limit, guys. Like, no, not every, you know, regular Joe's just going to go and bang 50 ETBs on an order. That's just not realistic. But so we're seeing them taking steps in the right direction. You know, we, like I say, Pokeran's talking about, you know, drip feeding stock, only putting 10% of their requested amount of stock onto their store, which is cool. But placing these limits and seeing this come into effect means that, you know, less people can just buy in bulk and then look to sell on secondary market, and it just means there's more slots for every, you know, normal people to kind of get in the queue and, you know, gain access to the stock. But all in all, I think things are improving. I do feel a sense of unease around the release of Shining Fates, just because Hidden Fates was mad, and this seems to just be 10 times like crazier just because of the year that Pokemon's had. If there's any kind of silver lining around this, we're seeing, you know, less restrictions because of the, you know, the COVID situation, and more physical stores can open up again. So we get less of that kind of like online rush and that detachment from the whole physical process of buying cards. So maybe that'll, you know, draw out a positive in all of this. People being able to go out to actual stores and buy the product in person. So I think things are moving in the right direction, but the craze and massive hype behind this set and the Pokemon market is a really interesting one. So, as always, I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down below. Any guidance, any tips, any stuff like that. Really interested to hear it. So please drop by the comment section down below and let me know your thoughts, guys. I am really interested. If not, just say hi. That's fine. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope everyone gets their pre-orders in, you know, and gets their product that they want. You know, by no means is any of this like, you know, financial advice and all that stuff. I'm just kind of giving my insight on what I do and my kind of feel for around the ecosystem at the moment. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to do all that free stuff, like and subscribing if you are new here. And yeah, I'll catch you for a new there's going to be some more pack openings coming soon. So yeah, look out for those. They're going to be exciting. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.